Hi and welcome. I thought I'd bring you in on a shave that I'm doing today. It's September 6th, 2024. I'm past the austere August business, but of course I have something I'm trying to do this month to make it interesting. This month I'm using, I bought a brand new Zenith boar brush in August with the idea of using it every day in September in order to break it in. On the wet shaving subreddit that I frequent, we call this raw hogging. So I'm raw hogging this September. The Zenith brushes are really nice, and they generally break in pretty easily. This one, though, has only 6 uses on it, and it's still eating lather pretty well. Doesn't have much funk coming off of it. I'm lucky that way. But you know, it's a new brush. It's not creating perfect lathers yet. So for the rest of the gear, I'm using my River Razor 14. Hang on, I needed to tighten the pin. The River Razor 14 from my good friend Boris de Rivière. And let's see, I'm also using Catie's Bubbles Blugère. This is a you can read it. It's a blueberry topped woody fougere. Clearly, that was an obvious choice. Actually, I got the idea from this from reading Shave of the Days on Reddit, and on Fougere Friday, which, by the way, this happens to be. I saw this soap coming up again and again, and bought a sample, and it's it's surprisingly good. I mean, who would think of putting blueberry on top of a fougere scent? And Lord knows I'm no expert on fragrances. In fact, when it comes to palate, I'm really no expert on anything. I don't taste the notes in wine or coffee or beer. I don't get the notes from cigars. And I certainly don't typically get the notes from fragrances, but I get something, and I happen to enjoy this one. And as it turns out, I enjoy a lot of the fragrances that I have, and they're all over the place in terms of type. All right, so I've got the razor covered. Oh, I'm using the Blugère aftershave as well. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to wet the face and start in. Oh, I should have pointed out, this is a vegetal soap. It's very soft. I mentioned that I had bought a sample of this. This particular the sample I had was in the luxury shaving base, and this tub is in the new premium shaving base. And so I'm very anxious to see what that's like. It'll probably be better if I use a different brush, but you know, it is what it is. So what I did, the soap base is very soft. It'll probably harden up over time, but it's very soft. So what I did was to create a paste. Actually, I put some in the bottom of the bowl and created a paste similar to what I would get with off of a puck. And so I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna wet the face. And grab some paste, lather paste. The millennials call this proto-lather. That's a little too fancy for me. And so I'm doing my version of the people's pre-shave. with extra wetness and extra slickness on top. Really working it into the beard. I noticed YouTubers, we call them wet tubers on Reddit, but I noticed YouTubers always say how much growth they have. Well, I'm a daily shaver, so I have 1 day of growth. I mean, do you really keep track of these things? So, adding even more water. I want this to be a nice slick shave. Okay, so I'm gonna load up the brush here with the paste and try to build it. This brush, as I mentioned, is boar. It's still not splitting. It's still fairly stiff, but it's certainly not uncomfortable. They can be, but this one is not. I don't create YouTube lathers. I create wet, almost drippy lathers, which this one is. You can hopefully see some shine there. Okie dokie. Well, very nice to be able to use my inventory of razors again. Another thing I'm trying to do this September is use a different straight razor every day. So far, so good. I think I have enough. Well, I think I have more than enough, but you know, we'll leave it at that. I made a video of putting the edge on this this razor. I'm pretty sure it's a synthetic edge. Feels terrific. I think I'm going to transfer or change, switch over, whatever the term is, this edge and the edge on my 6/8 river razors. I'm going to transfer it to a J-net. Why? Because, you know, why not? Doing a refresh on a razor like this is going to have almost no impact at all. So we try to have something going every month. A lot of people on Reddit use, not a lot, but some people on Reddit use this as an opportunity to use their samples. Most of us collect a lot of sample soaps. And so, you know, we call it Sample September. So I've been using a lot of my sample soaps this month, but this tub of Blugère came in yesterday, and I definitely wanted to use it. Pretty nice. It's for someone like me who has, you know, no sense of fragrances or how to describe them. I'm at a bit of a loss, but I really do. It's not fruity. The fragrance is not fruity. The blend of the blueberry note and the sort of darker woody fougere is really quite nice. If you're interested, I would strongly urge you to get a sample, give it a shot. And Chris Cullen at Catie's Bubbles, he's been around, you know, he's been in business a long time. He knows what he's doing. Can I detect that this is the premium base? No. It's good though. I probably already mentioned it, but it's vegetal base. I don't have an issue with so long as the base is good. I don't really care. Most of the soaps that I have are tallow, some form of tallow. All right, let's move on to the next one. Do a little wetting here. So I'm very fortunate to have had a number of email conversations with Boris. He's quite a guy. I'm very impressed with his enthusiasm for razor making, and I mean I'm incredibly impressed with his skills. His craftsmanship and attention to detail are exceptional, and he's definitely a person who cares a lot about the shaving experience. I mean, this is a great looking razor, but Boris cares quite a bit about the how the razor shaves, you know, into the grind and the type of steel that he uses. And he's been at it for about 10 years, maybe more. So it's not his first rodeo, as we like to say here in the States. And his razors are the steel. The steel is what did I do here? Huh, I wonder where that came from. Who knows? Wow. Yeah, so his steel is very, in terms of feel and the way it takes an edge, it's very Philharmonica 14-like. And that's different from somebody like Ulrich at Karat. He's got incredible steel as well, but his steels are much more hardened, stiffer, also fine-grained and take an incredible edge, but just a different feel. And that's kind of the wonder of custom razors. You know, it's not that one is better than another. It's that they're each an expression of each individual craftsman, and I love that. I've been talking via email a little bit with Tim Zawada, again, an unbelievably great guy. We've been talking about a little bit about Tamahagani, which is an iron sand steel. He makes a similar steel from iron sand that he finds in Michigan, and he's doing research with professor in the mechanical engineering, in a mechanical engineering department, Dr. Verhoeven, and he's been kind enough to send me some of those papers, and they're fascinating. Well, to me, they're fascinating, but you know, I'm kind of easily fascinated. By that sort of thing, and I've learned quite a bit because, you know, I don't have a background in metallurgy. I have, you know, introductory training in material science, and that's it. So, so I've had to look up a lot of terms as I read his papers, and that in addition to the papers being educational, they're academic papers. He co-authors them with Dr. Verhoeven. But in addition to the papers being educational, I have to look up a lot of the terms. You know, they don't roll off the tongue, so to speak. So I've enjoyed that quite a bit. I hope at some point to be able to get one of his razors. But I don't think either of us are going to rush. I'm also happy to just, you know, continue to have a conversation and learn more. Yeah, part of the problem with custom razors is at some point you have to sort of stop. I have three Karats and 2 river razors, and I very much enjoy dealing with these guys. But at some point, you know, you're gonna have to have. At some point, I have too many razors. All right, let's get going. Boy, that just feels so good. I think it's going to feel, this has a lot of shaves on it. I think it's going to feel really, really good with the J-net edge. I do keep data. I actually log all of my shaves. I mean, talk about geeky. I log all my shaves. Part of the reason I do it is that I I can format what I log. I log it in Excel, and I can use Excel to format the data that I log into the form, or the typical form that we use on Reddit. So I log it once and then just, you know, do a copy paste to post. So, I mean, part of that is just laziness on my part. Do the work once and reap the benefits later. Really nice soap. A lot of slickness. I think it'll be. I mean, certainly this is not representative of what this soap can do, given that I'm using a boar brush with 5 uses. There we go. You probably heard me say it before. This is my typical 2-pass, ignore the grain shave. Let me do the quick clean of the razor. I'm back to stropping. I'll be stropping this razor, and I'll also, since this is carbon steel, I check for tiny little brown spots on these. Occasionally they occur. I'm in a pretty humid environment, especially during the summer. So occasionally I'll see. I don't see any on this razor. But occasionally I'll see little brown spots that baffle me. You know, how in the world do they get there? Because I'm pretty careful with cleaning up the razor. But anyway, if I find them, you know, maybe this is a tip, I don't know. If even on a highly polished surface like this, if you use metal polish, you know, a very high polish or really fine grained metal polish, you can polish those tiny brown spots right out of the razor. So I with all my carbon razors, every time I do this, I check them for brown spots. And then take them to the polish if I find any. So that's worked well for me over time. Let me put that where it's not going to fall. Dropping a razor is something you'll probably only do once. I've done it, and fortunately I did it with a golf mallet. Very nice. Let's do a little, let's go with, there's some lavender in Blugère. So we'll go with a little lavender witch hazel. Do a little cleanup. Sort of a short dry down period, but I don't typically, you'll notice well, I think you've only seen me shave 3 times, but I very rarely nick or cut. So and I've gone a lifetime of shaving without using a toner. So for me, it's kind of a nice to have, not a requirement. All right, so I don't know whether this has alcohol in it. Too small for me to read, but it doesn't matter. Probably doesn't. The modern splashes don't come across with much alcohol, and I like an alcohol splash. If you want something that really feels great, try the Captain's Choice Cat o' Nine Tails. That's a strong alcohol. It's a bay rum. It's friggin' awesome. Clearly that's coming from a boomer, right? I just this second realized that I've now moved into 2 categories. I'm both a boomer and a geezer. So I've got that. I've got that ahead of you Gen Xers and millennials. You haven't reached that phase yet. All right. Enough of this. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to all who mentioned me, Cajun Blade and Sean Staplefeld and Bill M. and Leon Longhaul Tanker, who I refer to with the greatest respect as Mr. Tanker. Dapper Shaves, Jacques. I really appreciate your mentioning me and paying attention to these goofy things that I do. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off. I'm sure I missed somebody, but I'm gonna sign off, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.